Ladies, we have got to be careful about who we are listening to for advice. It's hard sometimes because the person that is giving us the advice, they might be our mom, it might be a sister, it might be a friend that's close to you like a sister. It could be a coworker, it could be an older woman at your church. But again, be careful who you're listening to because not everyone has your best interest at heart. We have to know ourselves, number one. We have to know ourselves. We have to know what we will tolerate, what we won't tolerate. And without knowing yourselves, ladies, you won't have any idea. You will accept anything. How do I know? Because I did it. I didn't know myself. I didn't truly know what I wanted or what my expectations were. So I was willing to accept whatever, as long as it looked good. As long as it looked a certain way, it was cool. So, number one, know yourself. How do you know yourself? You have to have a relationship with God. That relationship is the numero uno, number one, top of the line relationship that you must have. Without that, you're lost. And again, how do I know? Because it was me. Without that relationship, you'll be just floating from here to there, accepting this and that, doesn't matter, whatever. Again, long as it looks a certain way. So you have to know yourself. Number two, consider the source. So a lot of times people are wanting to tell us what to do, how to do it, what they think about decisions we make. But if you look back at their lives, at their history, now granted, none of us are perfect. We all have made some silly mistakes. We have all done some crazy things that we should not have done. But has this woman grown throughout her life? Has she grown from that crazy foolishness that maybe she used to do back in the day? Or is she still doing it now? If she's grown from it, that's somebody that you probably should listen to and you can take some advice from them. But if they are in a dysfunctional, abusive, wild type of relationship, that's probably not someone you want to take your advice from. So if we think about Ruth and Naomi, Ruth, she listened to Naomi. She followed her to another country. She left her own family to go with this woman. Now, she did know the woman. It was her mother-in-law. But at the end of the day, she was willing to leave her own family to follow Ruth. She didn't just follow Ruth because that was her mother-in-law. Because remember, Ruth didn't just follow Naomi because that was her mother-in-law. If you remember, Ruth's husband, which was Naomi's son, he had died. So at this point, Ruth could have cut all ties with Naomi. But because of the woman that Naomi was, she was wise. She gave her excellent, sage advice. She told Ruth exactly what she needed to do, how she should carry herself in order to attract a husband. She did not tell her, girl, you got to show a little leg to get a man. She didn't tell her, it's okay if you sleep with him before you marry him, because that'll make sure that you get him. The advice that Naomi gave Ruth, it was ladylike advice. It was not some ratchet hood rat type advice. So again, we have to make sure we're paying attention. We're listening to the correct people. We have to make sure that we have the right influences in our lives around us. So many times we get caught up, and again, this could be a family member, but you got to look at that family member's history. If that family member back in the day was willing to accept whatever from a man and raise their kids any kind of way, and if they're still kind of living that lifestyle now, that says to you, it should say to you that this person hasn't grown. Therefore, they can't tell me what I should be doing at this point, because they're not setting that example for me. They are doing the exact same thing that they were doing 20, 30, 40 years ago. So just be careful, ladies. I can't emphasize that enough. And I've been caught up in places, in instances in my life where I was listening to people who really, like, you're not setting a good example for me. And again, we all have done some crazy things. We all have made mistakes. We make mistakes daily. Thank God for his grace and for his mercy, because I don't know about you, but I mess up every day, several times a day. But if this person has not changed, they're not trying to make any changes to get better, to live their lives according to how God would have them live their lives, you can't allow them to have any say so in your life. All they're going to do is lead you to a path of destruction. And Lord knows we don't need any help with that. We need some help to be better, stronger, more focused, and more loving women today. So ladies, again, please be careful, be cautious of who we're listening to. Make sure your person that you're listening to, or your people, are more like Naomi instead of somebody else that's a little more ratchet. All right. Talk with you all later.